Eleven's life begins not with love, but with fear, secrecy, and confinement inside the cold walls of Hawkins National Laboratory. From the moment she is born, she is treated less like a child and more like an experiment. She grows up without knowing what a normal family feels like or what safety truly means. Her earliest memories are filled with sterile rooms, harsh lights, and commands instead of affection. Dr. Brenner becomes the only adult figure in her life, yet his care is twisted and conditional. Every smile she receives is tied to performance, obedience, or results. Eleven learns very early that love must be earned through pain. Her childhood is stolen before it ever has a chance to exist. She does not learn words through bedtime stories, but through tests and punishments. Silence becomes her first language. Fear becomes her closest companion. The world outside the lab is a mystery she is never allowed to touch. Even her name is replaced by a number, stripping her of identity. She is taught that her powers are her only value. Mistakes are met with isolation and suffering. Trust is dangerous because it can be taken away instantly. Her innocence is exploited repeatedly in the name of science. Despite everything, a fragile spark of humanity survives inside her. That spark refuses to die, even when she is broken again and again. When she finally escapes the lab, she enters a world she does not understand. Freedom feels terrifying instead of joyful. Every sound, face, and emotion overwhelms her. Yet this terrifying world also introduces her to kindness. Friendship begins to heal wounds she never knew how to name. Eleven's story is not about power alone, but about survival. It is about a child learning how to be human after being treated like a weapon. Her life is a journey from control to choice, and that journey is filled with unbearable pain. 1. She was born into experimentation. 11 never had the chance to be a normal baby. From birth, she was immediately taken into a system designed to exploit her abilities. Her mother's love was ripped away before it could protect her. Instead of warmth, she was surrounded by machines and observers. Every cry she made was analyzed, not comforted. Her earliest experiences taught her that the world was unsafe. She was raised to believe that her body and mind were tools. Consent never existed in her life. She was forced to perform tasks far beyond what any child should endure. Pain was normalized in the name of progress. Failure meant punishment rather than understanding. Her development was shaped by fear rather than curiosity. Emotional neglect became routine. She learned obedience before language. The lab decided her schedule, her food, and her isolation. She was never asked what she wanted. Childhood milestones were replaced with violent training. Her brain was pushed past its limits repeatedly. Every success came at a physical cost. She was praised only when useful. When she suffered, it was considered necessary. This taught her that her pain did not matter. Her body became a battleground for adult ambitions. She internalized the belief that suffering was her purpose. Even rest felt undeserved. She grew up believing freedom was dangerous. This foundation shaped all her future trauma. Her life began as an experiment, not a choice. That injustice follows her forever. 2. Her mother was taken from her. Eleven's separation from her mother is one of the deepest wounds in her life. She grows up believing she has no family at all. The truth is hidden from her deliberately. Her mother's attempts to save her are erased and silenced. This absence creates a permanent emptiness inside Eleven. She does not understand why she feels abandoned. The lab encourages this loneliness to maintain control. Without a parental bond, she lacks emotional security. She never hears her mother's voice during childhood. She never feels protected by unconditional love. This deprivation affects her ability to trust. When she finally learns about her mother, the reunion is heartbreaking. Her mother's mind has been destroyed. The chance for normal connection is gone forever. Eleven is forced to grieve something she never had. This grief is confusing and overwhelming. She cannot ask questions that matter. She cannot receive answers that heal. Her mother's suffering mirrors her own. The realization fills 11 with guilt. She feels responsible for the damage done. This emotional burden is too heavy for a child. The reunion offers truth but no comfort. It closes a door instead of opening one. 11 must accept permanent loss. This loss shapes her fear of attachment. She clings harder to those she loves. She fears losing them the same way. Her mother's absence becomes a silent ache. It reminds 11 of everything stolen from her. It reinforces how cruel her life has been. 3. She was dehumanized by being called a number. Being called 11 instead of a name deeply damages her sense of identity. Numbers remove individuality and emotion. They reduce people to data. For 11, this reinforces that she is not seen as human. She is ranked, categorized, and measured. This strips her of self-worth. She grows up believing she exists only to perform. Names create connection, but numbers create distance. The lab uses this distance deliberately. It makes cruelty easier to justify. 11 internalizes this treatment. She struggles to understand who she truly is. When she learns to choose her own name, it becomes powerful. Calling herself 11 is an act of reclamation. She transforms a symbol of oppression into identity. Even then, the damage remains. She questions whether she deserves a normal life. She fears she is broken or different. The number follows her into the outside world. It marks her as separate. She worries people will reject her if they know. This fear causes emotional withdrawal. She hides parts of herself constantly. Identity becomes something fragile. She builds it slowly through relationships. Each friend helps redefine her beyond the number. Still, the past lingers. The lab's labeling echoes in her mind. It affects her confidence and self-expression. Learning to be more than 11 takes years. This struggle defines much of her journey. 4. She was punished for feeling. 11 is taught that emotions are weaknesses. Fear, anger, and sadness are punished. This creates emotional suppression. She learns to disconnect from her feelings. Crying is unsafe in the lab. Vulnerability invites pain. As a result, she struggles to express herself later. When she feels overwhelmed, she lashes out. This is not cruelty, but survival. She was never taught healthy emotional regulation. Her anger often scares others. This isolates her further. She fears becoming a monster. Guilt follows every emotional outburst. She believes something is wrong with her. Learning emotions with friends is difficult. She feels childish and embarrassed. Love feels confusing and intense. Fear resurfaces when emotions grow strong. Trauma links feelings with danger. Healing requires relearning safety. Each step forward is exhausting. She makes mistakes constantly. Yet she keeps trying. Emotional growth becomes an act of courage. Her tears are acts of rebellion. Feeling becomes a form of freedom. This journey is painful and slow. It requires patience from those around her. 11's emotional wounds run deep, but feeling again proves her humanity. 11's life story is not just tragic, it is profoundly human. Despite unimaginable suffering, she continues to choose love. Every season shows her fighting not only monsters, but her own trauma. Her strength does not come from powers alone. It comes from resilience. She learns that family can be chosen. Friendship becomes her salvation. Love teaches her what the lab never did. She slowly builds an identity beyond pain. Every smile she earns feels hard-won. Every tear represents healing. Her journey is incomplete but meaningful. She represents stolen childhoods everywhere. She gives voice to silenced victims. Her story reminds us that trauma does not erase worth. Even broken beginnings can lead to growth. She learns to stand up for herself. She learns to say no. She learns she is not a weapon. She learns she is a person. Loss continues to haunt her, yet hope refuses to leave her. She carries scars, not shame. Her existence challenges cruelty. She proves survival is powerful. Love reshapes her destiny. 11's life is a story of becoming. becoming free, becoming whole, becoming human. And that is what makes her unforgettable.